Well, it's great to be talking about innovation in Washington, but we know the city has its share of critics. Remember the character played by Robert Redford in Quiz Show who said, "DC is a swamp that traded malaria for politics." Well, maybe the cure for both diseases is more social innovation and civic engagement. I first started looking for cures through social engagement when I was president of the University of Pennsylvania. The University City neighborhood that bordered the campus's western edge was really in terrifying shape. Crime had soared, and 1 in 5 residents lived below the poverty level. And as middle-class families fled, drug dealers moved in. We felt we had to get deeply involved and involve others as well. How could we teach our students about the importance of civic responsibility and engagement if we weren't deeply engaged as an institution with the pressing social ills on our doorstep? In a holistic multi-year effort, working with our neighbors as partners, we descended from the ivory tower and into the streets. We worked with the local teachers union and school district to build new types of public schools and to improve all the schools in West Philadelphia. To keep housing affordable, we acquired dozens of abandoned, rundown homes and apartment buildings and rehabbed them and sold them or rented them, often at a loss. We gave preference to hiring West Philadelphia residents and developed a community training program. Many faculty criticized these efforts. They thought we were overstepping our bounds. They described the efforts as risky, unorthodox, even misguided. Today, having witnessed the transformation of University City into a thriving, vibrant, and safe neighborhood, I choose other words for our work: innovative engagement. So, as you've already heard, we can actually look at cities as a petri dish for innovating new kinds of civic engagement. In this century, the majority of the world's citizens, its environmental impacts, its economic growth, and its intellectual pursuits will occur in cities. This activity and energy unlocks the potential of creativity and commerce, but we pay a price for these gains, and urbanization has uniquely urban costs, from strained infrastructure to inequality, from poverty to pollution. Combating urban ills will become a defining challenge of the 21st century, and that's why urban innovation and engagement are so crucial. The Rockefeller Foundation first tested this crucible in post-Katrina New Orleans, where we helped to restart the stalled process of developing the city's comprehensive recovery plan, without which hundreds of millions of dollars of federal aid could not be released. Believing in the power of user-driven innovation, we sought extensive and continuous input from all the stakeholders who were touched by the physical and the psychological devastation of the floods, including those displaced in the diaspora communities outside of New Orleans. We funded the public engagement organization Public Agenda to organize and facilitate community congresses, which gathered input from thousands of residents and displaced citizens. As with all user-driven innovation, new ideas emerged, driving the planning experts and the politicians to reframe the problems and to rethink potential solutions. This innovation process, actively managed, brought together new networks of local partners with different and competing interests, including the mayor and city council, the governor, the Louisiana Recovery Authority, and representatives of more than 70 neighborhoods throughout the city. Rebuilding requires capital, not just money, not just equipment, but human capital, the type needed to spark and sustain social innovation. The foundation worked to assure that New Orleans could retain existing talent and attract new minds who could lead the kind of sustained civic engagement that was needed. To that end, we developed a redevelopment fellowship program, recruiting nationally, at first for 30 promising early and mid-career professionals, and we placed them in organizations, in businesses, and government offices most responsible for rebuilding New Orleans. The program supported their efforts with training and coursework. A number of these fellows have since stayed in New Orleans, continuing their impressive work and starting new innovative projects. Hurricane Katrina showed us that without thoughtful disaster planning and adequate physical infrastructure, surely a city can crumble. We all saw that. But more importantly, it taught us that a city also needs social infrastructure to survive. It needs strong communities and civic engagement and a commitment to service not just from government or charities or enlightened businesses, but really from all its citizens. We've since worked to take this important lesson to scale. Last fall, a group of forward-thinking bipartisan mayors from cities throughout America founded Cities of Service, hoping to achieve exactly this type of engagement in cities throughout America. The organization was designed to coordinate citywide service strategies, engage the service world as partners with cities, and focus volunteer efforts on the city's priorities and on meaningful outcomes. Running a race-to-the-top-like competition, we received hundreds of applications from cities throughout America, each developing a comprehensive service plan that matched volunteers and community partners to the areas of the city's greatest needs. We partnered with Bloomberg Philanthropy and selected the 20 best of these applications and funded a newly creative role, a chief service officer in 20 mayors' offices. Winning cities now have a point person responsible with executive power and full-time responsibility to foster volunteerism in their cities. Already, the program has had dramatic results. Last spring, when tremendous flooding in Nashville killed nearly 36 people and wiped out the homes of many, many others, the city's chief service officer used her award-winning plan to quickly activate 17,000 local residents to assist in and manage aspects of the relief and cleanup efforts. Nashville's mayor, Carl Dean, attributed the swift response and recovery of Nashville not to FEMA, not to the state authorities, not even to his city officials, but to the volunteerism plan that the city had developed as part of its application to Cities of Service. It allowed Nashville to activate and organize its unprecedented volunteer effort very, very quickly and really quite efficiently. With a relatively modest investment, Cities of Service has been able to generate broad and deep engagement and a massive social return in less than a year. Because of this effort, more citizens will have a stake in improving their urban life, and city governments will have a new source of ingenuity and enthusiasm at their disposal. When considering how government can be transformed, how it can be made smarter, how it can be made more responsive to its citizens, I urge you to keep efforts like Cities of Service in mind. Only by breaking through the barriers between the public and private and social sectors, something the Rockefeller Foundation is deeply committed to trying to do, only by partnering and pursuing socially innovative approaches, and only by empowering our citizens to participate in change, can we hope to overcome the pressing challenges that will increasingly confront our urban world in this decade and certainly beyond. Thank you very much. We look forward to participating with many of you in this effort.